Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Discriminating Gamer, the Sandra Bullock of board game review shows. Just trust me on that one. Ladies and gentlemen, do you like Star Trek? I do, and I'm not afraid to admit it. And that's why I love when a new Star Trek board game is available. And today we're going to take a look at Star Trek 5-Year Mission from Mayfair Games.
Full speed ahead, Mr. Sulu. My crazy concubine awaits. Mr. Spock, don't interfere. You are my science engineer. I warp 9, it's girls a buzz. Oh. This goes far more deep than lust. Because my name is Captain Kirk. Since Siberius Kirk. My 5-year mission is to find my crazy concubine. Those Klingons better step aside. Those girls can run, but they can't hide. Leave me a blonde, or better yet, say course and find me a brunette.
In Star Trek 5-Year Mission from Mayfair Games, 3 to 7 players are going to attempt to work together to essentially score enough points to save the Enterprise and, I don't know, rule the Federation. They are conquerors, right? That's what Star Trek's about? Conquering? I don't know. Now, you can play this game as either the original series, Kirk, Spock, McCoy, etc., or you can play it as the Next Generation crew, Picard, Crusher, weird beardy monster. So once you have decided which crew you want to play, the players go ahead and they take their boards, and each player board has a special ability, as well as a place to hold action dice and a place for their injury dice. Each player is going to start out with 5 dice of different colors on their board, and depending on the number of players, you're going to set some dice kind of on the Enterprise card as well to kind of act as your reserve pool. Now, there are 3 different decks of alert cards. There's blue, which are the easiest, there's yellow, which are a little more dangerous, and there's red, which means run, we're all dead. Now, what's going to happen in the course of this game is on your very first turn, what you do is you reveal a card. Now, these cards are going to have spots for dice, and you have to roll the exact number on the dice or the exact color on the dice. Now, sometimes it will say, that number in an up symbol or a down symbol, meaning that number or higher or that number or lower. And what you have to do is essentially you can roll your dice once, and then you can try to put the dice on the specific cards. Now, some of these cards, you can just put it there and bank it there, but some of the dice that are pictured in a box, you have to fill them both up immediately in order to claim those dice positions. Now, as these different cards are coming out, different things are going to happen. Some of them are going to have very unique kind of status alerts with them. Some of the blue cards you pull out may feature yellow alerts on them. Some of the yellow cards you pull out may feature red alerts on them, and that means you have to draw an additional card from the yellow or the red pile. Some of the cards may feature the Federation symbol. This is a prime directive symbol. It means you have to solve this one first. If you don't solve that one first, then all of the prime directive missions on the board fail immediately and go to the fail pile. There are also timed missions, and the game does come with a sand timer. If one of these timed missions come out, you flip the timer over, and if you can't solve it by the time that is done, you fail the mission. Now, some of the cards as they come out are also going to have text. Some of them will say the Enterprise takes an injury. If that happens, you kind of move a marker up on the Enterprise injury level, and then players can roll red dice, and depending if they hit the right number, they can move it back down and kind of repair the ship. You're also going to have some cards that are going to come out, and they're going to say things like, you take an injury. If that's the case, you have to choose one of your dice and put it into your injury box, and that means that's one less die that you can use and one less die circulating in the game. Now, some of the cards, when they come out too, and you solve them, are going to have special abilities on them. Some will let you add a number to a dice or lower a number to a dice. Some will let you kind of trade the colors of a dice or let you re-roll dice. Some of them will also have a transporter ability, which will let you use someone else's special ability from their card. There's also a medical ability that may come out, which will let you heal one of your injury tokens. And whenever you use one of these special abilities on one of these cards that you've solved, you then have to discard it. You get rid of it. It's a one-time use only. Now, what you're attempting to do here is look for the cards that have the Enterprise arrowhead on them. Those cards with the Enterprise arrowhead, they essentially are points. And you determine the number of points you want to work to. I think the lowest is 10 points. That's ensign level. So if you can get to 10 points, if you can solve 10 points before the ship is destroyed or you fail 5 missions, you win the game. Now, you fail 5 missions, that's it. You've lost. If ever the ship takes another injury and it's already as far as it can go, you lose. So that's essentially it. Now, some of the different abilities are very cool on the cards. For instance, Picard, he can take an extra dice when he rolls the doctors. They can try to heal people. I think Geordi, he can re-roll dice that he used to heal the Enterprise. So there's all sorts of different and interesting things you can do, and you're really relying on each other as you play the game. Now, Star Trek 5-Year Mission fundamentally is a dice game, which means there's a lot of luck. This is a game that is filled with luck. It's a co-op that's filled with a lot of luck. And, you know, if you don't mind the luck, you may very well enjoy this kind of a game. But just know that going in. There's a lot of luck in Star Trek 5-Year Mission. And because it's a co-op too, it does fall into that dangerous category of an alpha gamer. This is a very good game for an alpha gamer to say, oh, put it here, put it here, put it here. You know, alpha gamer syndrome never really bothered me particularly. Maybe that's because I am an alpha gamer. Not really. But you can, you know, if that's something that bothers you, if alpha gaming is something that bothers you, this may not be the game for you. Now, the game itself can be very, very, very intense. When those cards are coming out and you're doing your darndest to solve them and you're almost on top of it, and then just some monkey wrenches get thrown at you, you will get beat up in this game. Like when those time missions come out, the stress level is through the roof. And then if you've got a time one and you've got a prime directive that comes out, so you've got to solve the prime directive first, but the timer's running on the other one, so you got 2 you got to solve relatively quickly. It's insane, and it is fun. It's really, really intense. And also, too, you've got some really fun and unique cards. You've got a card that comes out every now and then called Communications Breakdown. And this is great because when Communications Breakdown comes out, you can't communicate. You can't talk. Just one person by himself has to make the decisions. That kind of cuts through the alpha gamer thing for as long as that card is active. But that's kind of a neat twist, and that kind of introduces kind of the metagame dynamic there, which is really cool. And I really appreciate that. I really appreciated that, and some of the other fun and interesting cards that come out during this game. The game is a giant puzzle. It's like every turn you're working on solving these cards, and you're trying to find out where do the pieces fit, and how do I make the pieces fit. And it is so frustrating when you're rolling those dice, and they just can't work for you the way you want them to work for you. It'd be nice if there was just an automatic default, you can re-roll 1 dice or something. That would have been cool, but it probably would have made the game too easy. I don't know. But it's fun, it's interesting. Now, as I say, it's a heavy luck game, and honestly, it almost feels kind of like an abstract game. It almost feels like it's got the Star Trek theme there just to kind of make it interesting and engaging, but fundamentally it really kind of has an abstract feel to it. Now, I'm a Star Trek junkie. I love Star Trek, so I ate this up, and I ate up the Star Trek theme, even though I don't think it was a really strong Star Trek theme. It was still a lot of fun, and I still enjoyed it. So the recommendation for the discriminating gamer for this is I've got a lot of caveats here, a lot of reasons why people may not like it, the alpha gamer, the fact that there's so much luck, and if those things bother you, then maybe try it before you buy it. But I think for people who don't have a huge problem with those things and really like Star Trek, buy it. I think you'll really enjoy it. Thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment for us on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We ask you to please like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube. We are The Discriminating Gamer. Beam me up, Scotty. Scotty, beam me up. Scotty, you're embarrassing me. Come on. Scotty, is this about your wife? I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Because my name is Captain Kirk. I've seen Siberia's Kirk. My 5-year mission is to find. Oh, my 5-year mission is to find. Oh, my 5-year mission is to find. Oh, my crazy concubine.
Did somebody say flavor?